So in our work over the last few years, I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of drivers and also a lot of owner-operators, many of which are very serious about their fuel economy. And in this story from the road, we're going to go beyond the 7 truckers that are out there and run on less and focus on a couple of truckers that are really passionate about fuel economy and freight efficiency, both driving older equipment. That is Steve Crone and Alec Casteras, both driving for Landstar. Alec talked about aerodynamics. He has a nose cone on the front of the trailer, and this is very important as he deals with headwinds, crosswinds, tailwinds. He has really worked on how to tuck the tractor and trailer very close together and make that gap almost disappear. He has a tail, but he also talked a lot about maybe the most aggressive side skirt on his trailers. It's manufactured by Windine Fairing Company, very close to the ground, and it covers the entire length between the landing gear and the rear tandem. That skirt has a flip and slide set of features where it will telescope as you move the rear trailer tandem for weight changes, and it will also flip to be able to have access to the underside of the trailer, which allows for a very low skirt to ground clearance. Whenever you have a disruption or someplace that might damage the skirt, it just flips it up. So when I asked Alec, how do you get to these high levels of performance? He was very quick to answer that question, that it starts with information. Really key for Alec is to understand the weight that's in the trailer, using technologies to look at the air suspensions and predict, understand and calculate the weight in the trailer. But also good feedback on his driving habits, how he's driving, what the shifting is doing, how the truck is performing. Lastly, he has a lift axle on his trailer. So with that, he can actually lift that axle and remove that rolling resistance from the road to again increase fuel economy. Alex shared that driver coaching tools were very important to increasing his fuel economy over the last year or so. And he blatantly admitted that, he didn't think he needed the help. He's already in double-digit fuel economy, and it really did help Alex. So I think the lesson here is that we can always get better, and tools to help us get better can really matter. And finally, Alec offered this sage advice. He said, work with others. Be open about your fuel economy and find out what the industry's doing, whether it's other drivers, fleets, manufacturers, the press and media. He particularly wanted to thank actually a couple of the drivers in our run, Henry Albert and Joel Morrow of Ploger. Both had given Alec advice over time, and Alec is now sharing his advice with others. He believes that's one key thing to improving and high fuel economy of these tractor trailers. Steve is well known for getting around 10 miles per gallon on a 15-year-old international truck. He talks about how he improved the fuel economy of the front of his truck after hitting a deer. And he actually used a 2017 model year Mack front end. Steve's passionate about all aerodynamics, invented his own tail, or backdraft it's called. This helps the fuel economy on the back of the truck. He loves driving in the rain. I say, well, why? Because when he stops, he's able to see how the rain has caused dust and mud to cake and drive around the truck. And he can see areas of high disturbance or high turbulence. Those are areas that then he'll go work on, whether it's the trailer or the tractor, to lower the drag and improve the performance of the tractor trailer. Steve also hates anything on the truck that doesn't help. So anything in that airstream, whether it's the license plate, whether it's lights, grab handles, anything like that, Steve removes to really clean up the truck and get great fuel economy from this old truck. So with the age of Steve's truck and engine, a lot of the powertrain improvements that we've been talking about at Trucking Efficiency really don't apply here, but that doesn't stop Steve. Steve looks at the powertrain he has and continually works to improve it. And next up for him is going to a 6x2 axle, so Steve won't stop. And that's really the message that Steve wanted us to share with you. You don't get to a perfect truck overnight. It happens over time with incremental changes along the way.